Hello, everyone.
Hi.
We're reading now the next book on our list. It is Reincarnation and the Law of Karma. For people that knows about karma, about their past lives, it's basically when someone is given a second chance and come back into this life as a second chance, but they're for example, me as the current life and my past life have came back again and got reincarnated in someone else's body, which is my twin. Has been given a second chance. That person has awakened me to now see exactly what I lived in the past, and my goal is to awaken that person to help him awaken my past life, help him get over the karma, so it could awaken, so fulfill the destiny of my past life to become a better person. Because I know somebody that I lived through my past life, and now been given a second chance to help him become better my past life. Right now I'm the current life of my past life. Is that how you say it?
You're the yin and the other person is the yang.
Yes,
And I'm the soul contract.
yeah, the other person lived through darkness in my past, which is my past life. Still living in the darkness, so I have to awaken him. But I'm living current. He awakened me, so now I'm moving past that. But that person is still living in my past life. So now I have to awaken that person to become a better person. So that way, when one of us dies, we come back into one person, right? One soul.
Yes, it's one soul.
In two
stuck
bodies.
Into two physical forms of body. So, and I'm actually the soulmate. But now this life cycle, this lifetime, where I'm the soul contract because we were in the past we were partners before, and now we find each other. And then it's going to be harder for him because he has another twin flame. His soul is stuck in another physical form of a body. And I had to go through all these chaotic chaos things, situation with him. And now I just have to like surrender to the divine path, and we have to understand each other. And I just have to show him a lot of temperance.
That's why there's a push and pull too.
Yes, with this kind of dynamic, I'm the one that's not supposed to show any signs of jealousy, because if I show any signs of jealousies or negativities, everything gets reversed. So it's really hard. So you have to get open up to like our spirituality, to be the 5Ds, to actually see this. So I accept who Michael is, I accept who I am, I accept what's going on, and I accept
the other person.
Yes, I accept the other person too. So it's not something that people would think that, oh, we're trying to steal somebody away. No, it's spiritually. When I talk about spiritually, we're awakened. We are awakened to something that never happened to anybody before. So,
but my past life is in someone else's body.
Yes, and I'm trying to understand what the twin flame is, and I'm also trying to understand what the soul contract is. And so the other person is trying to come to us, try to connect it to us by our energy, and then accept who we are. At that time, that point, we were blinded. We were blinded. We did not have any vision, intuition,
and we didn't know we didn't know what was going on. Yes. Especially who was he.
We just kept pushing that person away. We just kept pushing that person away for some point, and so until this person keeps coming back and keeps talking about his past, his life, and now that he awakened us, the God is divine, backflash everything, they throw everything at us, and so we dreamed everything. We started having dreams,
and that's why
having like
synchronicities and stuff, and that's why we see. That's why that person knows what the sixth sense is, knows what soul contracts is, knows what soul connections is, and soul connection. There's a twin flame. There's a soulmate. Basically, my past life, which is him who dated him before in the past, and now I came back again around for a second chance to from my current life, my current soul, my past life, which is him, which is the other person, to awaken me. Now I have to awaken him so he can realize we're the same soul. So when one of us passes away, we come back reincarnated only into one body.
Yes,
instead of two bodies.
another thing that I also wanted to talk about is I understand what karma is, but I didn't look it into karma, what karma really means. So the other person came around, he was the one that talks about karma.
That's why I read this book.
This person talks
That's
about
why I
karma.
read this book.
And now that he's waking us, now we saw our karma, and now we saw what's going on, and now we're trying to align each other again. Now this person is pushing away, like this person doesn't know who we are now. That's really sad. It's really hurtful that we have to fight everything on our own in darkness. So, and we do see that this person is stagnant, and there's a lot of
people manipulating that person,
blockage around this person, and that we try to reach out and help this person, but there's a lot of things that try to block our ways. Let me just put it that.
Yep, that's what happens in the spiritual realm. Spiritual warfare, light versus darkness. That person living in darkness, that's why a lot of darkness covering that person, a lot of people manipulating that person, not seeing the truth and how everything really is. Hopefully one day that my past life will waken up, because I can see now why I was given a second chance, because that person lived in karma in my past life, which was me. Now that I awakened, became lighter, now I move on and become a better person than I was before my past life.
Yes, this really taught me a lesson. I learned a lot about my awakening, and I learned a lot from the spiritualities, especially from the divine. It showed me a lot of paths, it showed me a lot of wisdoms, showed me the whole journey behind my lifetime, so that I understand who I am. I understand Michael is, who's Michael, and understand the whole connections between the three of us. I'm not going to mention the name, but it's a soul contract. It's a soul contract. That's why it's much more than the soul contract. Is more divine than just being a regular family. It's more divine than just being a family of brothers and sisters, like that with your siblings. Soul contracts is like from the divine. It's like from the 5D. We were in the life past.
Yep, that's why that person admitted that he always feels the pull to me, just like how Donald feels the pull to me too, because he was my past soulmate, and then the other person was my past life, which is the other half of my soul. That's why they're both pushed to me, because we're all energetically connected together. Me and the other person, we're all one soul, but split into two bodies, and this is the soulmate of us before.
Yes, it's kind of hard to understand. It's kind of hard for us to interpret what's going on. What's a soul contract? What's a twin flame? But if you do really go and do some research deeply into twin flame soul contract philosophy, you will understand. Because we've just been awakened, so we're just like little kids learning ABC, starting it all over again. Now we're going through high school, trying to educate ourselves. So I know that is something opening to a new chapter. It's real.
And the reason why there's a push and pull, because that person's still with the karmic, and also because we both have two different things. I'm living in 5D, he's still kind of living in 3D, but not completely 5D. So when he makes his vibration and frequency higher to my level and opens up fully to 5D, understand what really this connection is, then there's no more push and pull, and we can finally all come together in union.
Yes, so I just pray that the Goddess Divine align us and awaken us all together again, because this other soul is still contracted to us, and it sucks to see the other soul not with us, and so...
and that person, the reason why he's with the karmic partner is to teach that person lessons until he's finally let go of that karmic. That's the reason why the person still feels attached to that karmic partner, because the lessons aren't fully learned yet. That karmic is there to teach him lessons to help him move on, so he could find his true path of his soul.
Yes, and another thing that I was talking to Michael and negotiating with him about, try not to get people's lives. If you really know that this person is our soul contract, then you...
But honestly, that person is me.
Exactly, but you shouldn't get into people's personal life or get into their life.
But we didn't though.
I know,
but we didn't got into that person's life. That person's person blamed that we broke them up, but we didn't. He was the one told us that he made that decision himself to them to break up. He even told us himself.
Yes,
And she blamed us that we broke them, but we really didn't. It was all part of the divine plan, because when he came here and got to know us, awakened us, and the divine caused them to break up. It was all part of the plan.
yes, the God is divine. Showed him the path. That's why he found us. Saw our energetic, saw our frequencies. That's why he aligned to us. We have no clue who this person was, but we opened up to this person that he could be our friend, because we just moved here. We had no other friends, and so he could be our he could be our friends. He maybe like he could show us around, but instead it got more.
It got more because it's basically me, my past life, because we were all lovers in the past. But he got sent in, he got reincarnated to live his karma again, to realize the truth of what his true life purpose is, which is not what he's living right now.
Yes, but anyways, long story short, but we are still going through a lot of healings. It's a lot of psychology. We're helping each other out and talking about the situations really help us build up our self-esteem and become a stronger person and understand the spiritualities.
And after all of this, we awaken to either become definitely healers. We're either going to be counselors or nurses or CNAs, because we're going back to school. Tomorrow we're going to start trying to figure out what we're going to be. Either we're going to start off becoming CNAs if we like it, because I was a CNA before, then maybe become nurses. It seems like they have a lot of nurses in need. If not, then go through CNA, maybe become counselors. But either way, we're going to go on something higher path. And now we're going to start reading this book. Are you starting to?
Yes.
Reincarnation and the Law of Karma by William Walker Atkinson. And this book is for the person that believes in karma. And I believe in karma too, because you're living in it. My past life is still living in it, and I've been awakened to break free from the karma, because before he awakened me, I was still living in karma. Me and that person lived parallel lives in our past. I was also married. I also had multiple relationships that never worked out. I also had people that manipulated me. I also had people that I also lived through past trauma, through all that stuff that same person lived through. So I know we live parallel lives, because that's the light and dark of the yin yang, the same soul. That's why the universe sent us here in the first place, because we got sent here by retrograde. If you know what planetary retrogrades are, just like how I met him was during a planetary retrograde back in 2018. Back in April of 2018. Every time we moved here during a retrograde too, and we met that person during a retrograde. And during that time of July, 3 months ago, all that happened during a retrograde too. And it seems like every time that person comes back around is during a retrograde, because he's been spiritually aligned by the divine to come to us only certain times, to help him realize the lessons he's learned and all the mistakes he's done in his past, to break free from that karmic patterns. Because everything that's going on right now is supernatural, like he said, the sixth sense. The time he unblocked me is a time to start lightning and thunder, and we said it was clear outside, but it was what it wasn't. And everything is done by the divine. All these signs, synchronicities, all these spiritual stuff going on. People acting strange around us. Different energies, negative energies aligning when we're around them. We shift everything. Everything around us changes. And I'm pretty sure it's going on in that person's life too, around the workplace and everything, because people around us acting strange, karmic people, bad energies, negative omas are surrounding all of us. So I just want to make sure to let people know out there it's real. Right? So I'm going to start reading this book. Introduction. I'm going to start on chapter 1.
Yes, start with chapter 1.
Okay. Chapter 1, Reincarnation. We mean repeated incarnation or embodiment in the flesh of the soul or immaterial part of man's nature. The term metempsychosis is frequently employed in the same sense. The definition of the latter term being the passage of the soul is an immortal essence of at the death of the body onto another living body. The term transmigration of soul sometimes employed the term being used in sense of passing from one's body into another. But the term transmigration is often used for the connection with the belief of certain undeveloped races have held that the soul of men sometimes passed onto bodies of the lower animals as punishment of their sins committed during the human life. But this disbelief is held in disrepute by the adherents of reincarnation or metempsychosis, and no connection with their philosophy or beliefs. The ideas having sprung from the entirely different source and having nothing in common. There are many forms of beliefs, many degrees of doctrine regarding reincarnation, as shall we see as we proceed, but their fundamental and basic principle underlying all various shades of opinion, the division of the schools. The fundamental beliefs may be expressed as the doctrine that there were a man in immaterial, something is called soul, spirit, inner self, or many other names. Which does not perish at all death, disintegration of the body, but which persists in the entirety of shorter or longer interval, rest, reincarnates, or the reborn into a new body, that an unborn infant from the whence it proceeds to live a new life in the body, more or less unconscious or of its past lives, but containing within itself essence or results of the past lives, which experiences go make up its new character and personality. It usually hails the rebirth and is governed by the law of attraction under one's name or another, and which law operates in accordance with strict justice. It's the discretion of attracting and reincarnating soul into the body, and conditions in accordance with the tendencies of a past life. The parents also attracting them, the soul bound to them by some ties in the past, the law being universal, uniform, and unequitable to all concerned in its matter. This is a general statement of the doctrine as it's generally held by the most intelligent of its adherents. Chapter 1 is that long. It's only a few pages. It's very small.
E.D. Walker, a well-known English writer on the subject, gives the following beautiful ideas of the general teachings. Reincarnation teaches the soul enters this life, that is the fresh creation, but after a long course of previous existences on this earth and elsewhere, in which it acquires its presence inherent peculiarities, and that it is on the way to the future transformations which the soul is now shaping. It claims that the infancy brings to earth not a blank scroll for the beginning of the earthly records, nor the mere cohesions of atomic forces into the breathed personalities, soon to dissolve again into the elements, but that it is inscribed with ancestral histories. Some likes to present saints, most of them unlike its stretchings back into the remotest past. These inscriptions are generally indecipherable, save as revealed in their moldings influence upon the new career, but like the invisible photographic images made the sons of all disease when they are properly developed in their laboratories of consciousness, they will be distinctly displayed. The current phase of life will always be stored away from the secret values of the vaults of memories for its unconscious effects upon the ensuing lives. all the qualities we now possess in bodies, mind, and souls results from our use of ancient opportunities. We are indeed the heir of all the ages and are alone responsible for our inheritances. For these conditions accrue from distant causes engendered by our older selves. The future flows by the divine laws of cause and effects from the gathered momentums of our past impetuses. There is no favoritism in the universe, but all have the same everlasting facilities for growth. Those who are now elevated in worldly stations may be sunk in humble surroundings and the futures. Only the inner traits of the souls are permanent companions. The wealthy sluggards may be a beggar of the next life, and the industrious workers of the present of the sowing the seeds of the future's greatness. Suffering revelries endured now will produce the treasures of patience of fortitudes of another's life. Hardships will give rise to strength. Self-denial must develop the will. Tastes cultivated and this extensive will shall bear fruits in someone's, and acquired energies will assert themselves whenever that they can by the law of Paramenism, upon which the principles of physics are based. Vice versa, the unconscious habits, the uncontrollable impulses, the peculiar tendencies, the favorite pursuits, and the soul stirrings friendships of the present descend from far-reaching previous activities. The doctrines of reincarnations, metempsychosis, rebirth, has always been held as true by a large portion of human races. Following to the invariable laws of cycles changes, the swings of the pendulums of thoughts. At the time it has apparently died out of the parts of the world, only to be again succeeded by the new birth of the and interest among the descendants of the same people. It is a line impossible to extinguish, and although its flickering flames may seem to die out for a moment, the shiftings of the mental wind again follows it to the rekindles from the hidden sparks, and lo again, it bursts into new life in vulgar. The reawakening interest in the subjects of the Western world, of which all keen observers have taken note. It is but another instance of the operations of the cyclic law. It begins to look as the oculist, are right when they predict that before the dawn of another centuries of the Western world will once more have embraced it and the doctrines of rebirth. The old discarded truth, once so dear to the race, will again be settled in popular favor and again move towards the positions of orthodox teachings, perhaps to be again Christianized by reasons of the orthodoxy, and again to lose favors and fade away as the pendulum swings back and forth to the other extremes of thought. But the teachings of reincarnations never has passed away together from the race. In some parts of the world, the lamp has been kept burning brightly. Nay, more, at no time in human history has There been a period of which the majority of the races has not accepted the doctrines of rebirth in some of the various forms. It was so 1,000 years ago, 2,000s, 5,000s, and it's so on to days. In this 20th century, nearly and not quite 2/3 of the race hold firmly to the teaching, and the multitudes of the Hindus of others Eastern peoples clings to the Tenai seriously. And even outside of these peoples, there are to be found traces of the doctrines among other races in the East and West. So reincarnation is not forgotten truth or discarded doctrine, but one fully alive and vigorous, and one which is destined to play a very important part of the histories of Western thoughts during the 20th century. It is interesting to trace the histories of all doctrines among these ancient peoples away back into the dim recesses of the past. It is difficult to ascribe to any particular time or any particular race the credit of having originated reincarnations. Despite of this in spite of decades opinions and the differing theories of the various writers on these subjects, who would give Egypt or India or the loss of Atlantis as the birthplace of the doctrines, we feel that such ideas are but attempts to attribute a universe intuitive beliefs to some favored parts of the race. We do not believe that the doctrines of reincarnations ever originated anywhere as new distance doctrine. We believe that this sprang into existence whenever and wherever man arrived at a stage of intellectual development sufficient to enable him to form a mental conception of a something that lives after death. No matter from the sources this belief is ghosted, originated, it must be admitted that it is found among all peoples and is apparently an universal idea. And running along with it in a primitive peoples, we find that there is and always has been an idea, more or less vague and in distance, that somehow, some way, and sometimes this ghost of the person returns to the earthly existence and finds upon itself a new fleshy garment, a new body. Here, then, is where the idea of reincarnation began. Anywhere at the certain stages of human's mental development, it runs parallel with the ghost idea and seems bound up with the conceptions of nearly every case. When man evolves as little further, he begins the reasons that if ghost is more immortal and survives the death of the body, that returns to take upon itself a new body, then it must have lived before and last birth, and therefore must have a long chain of lives behind it.
This is the second step. The third step begins the reason that the next life is dependent upon something that doesn't have to be done in the present life, and upon it the three fundamental ideas of the doctrine of the reincarnation has been built. The occultist claims that the addition is the universal idea, which is the less intuitive race has received more or less instructed from time to time from a certain expansive souls that pass to higher life planes of existence, who are now called the masters, adepts, teachers, race, guides, etc. But whatever the expectation remains a truth that seems to haven't worked out for himself, and at times replaces the first idea of the ghost that persists that its body dies. And second, that this is the ghost that lived before either the other bodies and return to again in the new body. There are various ideas of the dead and the heavens of the hells that underline that all the persist the rebirth of its phases. Solid archaeology has published the interesting of the works that dealing with the beliefs of the primitive people that have passed from the sense of human action. He shows by the fragments of creating the sculpture which has survived that there was a universal idea that among them of the ghost, which lived after body died. The corresponding idea that has some day this ghost return of the sense of the scene of the formal activities. This belief that sometimes took over the form of the return of the foreign body, which the idea led to the preservation of the body by processing of mummifying. But the rule, this belief developed the more advanced of one of the rebirth in the new body. The earlier travelers in Africa have reported that there have been found evidences and traces of their strange belief in the future return of the soul to a new body on Earth. The early explorers of America found similar traditions and beliefs among Red Indians, survivals of which exist even unto this day. It is related to the number of savage tribes in different parts of the world that they are placed to the bodies that their dead children by the roadside in order that their souls may be given a good chance to find new bodies. The reasons of approaching a many travelers, pregnancy women who passed along the road. A number of primitive people hold the idea of complex soul composed of several parts, which they resemble the Egyptians, Hindus, Chinese, and even the fact all mystical and occult philosophies. The Fiji Islanders are said to believe that black soul, the white soul, the former of which remains in the buried body and disintegrates within it, while the white soul leaves the body of wanderers by the ghost, and afterward, tiring of the wanderer, returns to the life in the new body. The natives of the Greenland are said to believe the astral body, which leaves the body during sleep, which perishes as the body disintegrates after death. Speaking of astral body, I know how to astral project. I've astral projected several times ever since I met Donald, because he's the first part of the Holy Trinity between me and the other person, and also Donald. Since I met him, because he's the past soulmate of mine, I activated one of my spiritual powers as astral projection. Now that the divine connected all three of us together, me, Donald, and the other person, I open up my third eye. Now I have intuition, heightened intuition, also dreams, visions, and also psychic abilities that believe that that person said about the sixth sense. He senses the sixth sense because he awakened me. Because his mind is in my mind. We have the same emotions. So whatever I'm thinking, he's thinking too. Whatever, like the last time we spoke, when he was quiet, is because I spoke for him. That's why sometimes that person feels irritated because I was speaking for his behalf, because I have his mind.
I know, that's kind of awkward too, with this kind of 5D, how should I say this?
Oh, and when Donald first, when after I awakened, Donald thought I was I'm very different now, a lot different because I'm more intuitive, like, that all came from him because he awakened me, right?
Yes, yes, I was going to say that because we're stuck in this 5D, we can see everything that was going on.
I can see things happen before they happen.
Yes, even though if Michael talked to his flames, that his person is not awakening yet, they trigger each other. But when I talk to the other side of this person or a person, the person seems to like understand what I'm talking about. So they trigger each other a lot.
It's because we're the same. Because we're the same soul.
But when I come in and talk to them, like, it seems to be fine. It seems to be really.
Yep, because we're the same soul.
Yes.
Right. So if you say that to both of our souls at the same time,
so
we get triggered.
Yes, it's kind of funny the way how when they talk, it triggers each other. There's understanding, but when I talk to him, I seem to like fix. Yeah, I seem to fix him and fix the thought.
Because we're the same soul. So it's like I'm telling myself the same thing.
Yeah, so I'm stuck in between trying to balance both sides out, and so it's really hard with this dynamic.
It's also hard because that person's still stuck with a karmic partner.
Yeah, it's just why.
Even though they're just friends, but the divine has placed him in her life for her to teach him lessons.
What is significant about this situation is like I was telling Michael that we just be patient. I have to show him patience too, so we just be patient and just let the divine lead us and show us the path.
Okay, so in fact, the student finds that the nearly primitive races of the semi-civilized show races of the belief, the complex soul, and the trace of doctrine, reincarnation in some form. The human mind seems to work along some lines among the different races, unless one holds a theory of all spring of the same root race, that the various beliefs that the survivals of some ancient fundamental doctrine, that the facts that are not disturbed in either case. In the last mentioned connection, we might mention the traditions concerning ancient Atlantis, the lost continent, all holds the effort of her people believed that strongly in reincarnation, and the ideas of complex soul as the survivors of Atlantis believed that had been the ancestors of Egyptians on the one hand, and the ancient Peruvians on the other hand. The two branches of the survivors of. Did I do that in your video too? Did I do that in your video too? Having maintained the original doctrines modified by different environments, we might have found an explanation of the prevalence of doctrine on both sides of the ocean. We mentioned merely the passing and the general interest in the line of our subject. Okay, well, it's all done for chapter 1 of this book of reincarnation, the law of karma. Next time we'll read chapter 2 more slowly because we're kind of in a hurry. And the next video we'll talk about a little bit later. We'll talk about the video about all three of us again. We'll talk about part 2 in the video in a few moments when we come back from Walmart. And I'll always say, bye-bye, everyone.
Bye!